Today on Taste Utah, we check in with two staples of the Provo restaurant community. All the way back on season 1 of Taste Utah, people were buzzing about the Provo food community, and at the heart of it was Colton Solberg and his Communal Restaurant just off of Center Street. Communal was then, and still is today, dedicated to the craft of breaking bread with your neighbor, supporting local farmers and artisans, and using simple, real ingredients prepared with love to nourish you. And it's been a few years since Colton took the reins of another local favorite, the cafe right across the street. This is a little gem we featured on season 1 as well, and it's been cooking up unique Southwestern cuisine inspired and infused with flavors of Indigenous American cooking. You may have heard of it. It's a little place called Black Sheep Cafe, and it's unlike any other restaurant in the entire state.
You know, Taste Utah, it's more than a typical food series.
Oh, that's right, James. It's about local flavor, from roots through unique, authentically Utah restaurants.
Oh, absolutely. It's the people, the places that make Utah a dining destination.
We love it because there's so much soil and earth to uncover, but still so many great Utah restaurants to savor.
Well, that's just it. We bring the stories and we spread the love.
The best thing about Utah, the views along the way, they're not bad either.
We're not afraid to get our hands just a little dirty.
Food is a necessity, but it's how we create it and share it and experience it together that really shapes our community.
You always have a seat at our table.
Are you ready to taste Utah? Okay, so this is really, really exciting. We're bringing you into season 1. Season 1, we knew we had to hit some of the best restaurants in Utah, the most delicious, the most refined. So of course we had to visit Communal in Provo, where mastermind Colton Solberg has created an extraordinary experience for us. Colton, we're sitting with you today just chatting about sort of the landscape that's a little different than maybe 5 years ago when we were sitting in the kitchen with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a little bit, things have certainly changed, but it's been interesting to see how Communal's been able to adapt. I think, of all of our places, Communal has had maybe not the hardest time, but we've had maybe the bigger learning curve. So much of our business over the years had grown to become out of town business travelers. A lot of work to just kind of figure out how do we shift and how do we pivot so that we can continue to be relevant and continue to offer what we've been doing, continue to support the community. I mean, a big part of what we're doing at Communal is buying local, lots of local partnerships with farmers. And so how do we continue to support them during this time when so much is changing? And, some amazing things have come out of it. One of our long-standing relationships with the farmers, Snuck Farms in Pleasant Grove. We've been working with them pretty much since day 1 when they started. And when COVID hit, a lot of they do a CSA, but they also have a wholesale, and pretty much 95% of that wholesale went away. And so they pivoted quickly to start doing more CSA, which has been great. And in the process, we were talking with them about what we might be able to do to collaborate, and we felt like we hit upon this idea to with our team to be able to do, since they're selling greens, to start selling a salad kit to go along with their greens.
I mean, that's phenomenal, because one of the things that I love the most about Communal is when you walk in, there's this beautiful, and our viewers are about to see it, but there's this beautiful communal table.
Absolutely.
Where you sit and break bread with your best friend. You can also sit and break bread with someone you've never even met before. You look over and go, oh, what are you having? So that looks delicious. And it's a beautiful community experience. So is Communal open for dine-in?
We're doing dinner Monday through Saturday and then brunch on Saturday. So we stopped doing lunch during the week.
What's your favorite thing that's on the menu right now at Communal?
Dang, we're right in the process. It's, maybe you see this in television too, but so because we're thinking ahead into the fall now because of menu changes, so we're starting to think about some new menu items. So that's certainly top of mind for me, but that's obviously not going to happen until a couple more weeks from now. But we actually just got, speaking of kind of local, we started getting great heirloom tomatoes, and so we're doing right now an heirloom tomato dish with like a garlic. We do a house-made crostini with this stick bread that we're making. And then we also do a house-made ricotta with some Rose Hill. We just this last week started getting some Rose Hill dairy And so we make ricotta with their dairy, and it's just amazing.
And that's like why you have to go into Communal, because you can't get that house-made ricotta anywhere else. And are you guys doing to go there?
We are. We're doing to go.
Very cool. Well, the fun thing for our viewers is that they're going to be able to see you 5 years ago, and just so you're going to love this segment with Colton.
Great.
One of the things we love about downtown Provo are the old historic buildings and the way that the community keeps the integrity of them. So how excited are we to be here at Communal Restaurant?
The name says it all. It is a restaurant with a mission statement, and that's community.
Community starts at the dinner table, so we are very excited to get tasting this one.
Let's get tasting.
Let's go tasting, come on.
Colton Solberg, the owner and operator of Communal Restaurant in Provo, Utah. Thank you for sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the conception of this incredible community-based restaurant.
Yeah, Communal came out of this idea of having this shared experience around food. When I was going out to eat with friends, we would order a lot of different things and we were just passing things around the table. And we really liked just that idea that we're having this shared experience around eating. The idea for the name came to us as we were reading a book by David Tanis, a chef from Chez Panisse. And he talked about eating at a communal table, and it clicked like, that's, because we'd been thinking about the name for a long time. And so we knew right off the bat that we wanted a communal table, and we just liked the idea of sitting next to people we don't know. Sometimes it's very easy to kind of separate ourselves from people. We notice sometimes when people sit on the communal table, their first reaction's a little bit hesitant, kind of, you can see them kind of looking around. 9 times out of 10 by the end of the meal, they're talking to their neighbors. We've seen people sharing food. It's been a really fun thing. From the beginning, we knew we wanted to focus on ingredients. If you start with amazing ingredients, the chances that you're going to end up with something delicious are a lot better. Focusing as much energy on sourcing ingredients as you do on creating a dish ends up resulting in something that's really delicious. We really want to make sure that the focus isn't so much on how amazing we are in the kitchen, but how amazing the food is. We get tomatoes from Del Allred. We've followed him around as he's moved from different farms throughout the state. He's now in Logan, but we still, every summer, we don't buy tomatoes until he has them.
What do diners love about your restaurant?
I think the thing that they love ultimately is just really instilling a sense of caring. We care about how the restaurant looks. We care about the dishes we use. We use our recycled wine bottles that we have somebody cut for us and polish. I always try to make sure that we have a certain variation of color because I think the way it looks on the communal table is really beautiful. And so all of those little things we care about. You know, I grew up in Provo, and growing up, for whatever reason, I didn't think Provo was cool. After having spent time on both coasts and in those cities, I realized that Provo and Utah in general is home. My family was here, I met my wife and her family was here. This area, and Provo especially, has always really felt like home. And so when we thought about opening a restaurant and trying to help bring up the level of dining options in Utah County, downtown Provo was, for us, just a no-brainer. It just felt right. I think more than anything, we wanted it to feel comfortable. We're committed to this area. We're committed to this community. We're raising our families here, and we want it to be great. Today we are doing one of my favorite dishes. So we sous vide the chicken. It allows us to kind of cook it almost to where it's done, and so that at night we're just kind of searing it and then bringing it up to temperature. So we brine all of our chicken overnight to help it retain some moisture. And then we bag it and we cook it at 145 degrees for 2.5 hours. The nice thing about sous vide is that it allows a level of precision that a lot of other cooking methods don't. We basically do half a bird for an order basically, so you get a little mix. Since the chicken has been essentially cooked through, all we're doing here is just bringing it back up to temperature and getting the sear, which gives it some flavor.
Nice, a little crispy.
Exactly. So when we take a look at it,
oh, look at that.
get that nice golden brown, that's really what we're looking for. And as long as we feel like it's heated through, then we know that we're ready. So from here, we do something, it's a pretty simple sauce. Basically, we do some shallot that we've roasted. Castle Voltrano olives, one of my favorites. They're just super meaty. Some really nice Dijon mustard. We make a chicken stock. It's a great utilization of the whole bird. As we can see, our sauce is nicely reduced. Yeah. Everything's come together. I like to, just because I want to keep the skin a little crispy. We put the sauce down first.
Smart.
We like to keep things pretty simple. We don't try to get too fussy with our plating here. I think we want the focus on the ingredients themselves. And I think hopefully highlight just the inherent beauty that's already there and not try to get too crazy. We pretty much finish all of our proteins with just a little touch of salt.
Oh, that looks so good.
And that's it. So good.
Jamie and I get to have the honor and privilege of sitting with Andrew, who is the front of the house hospitality manager at Communal.
I think there's just such a beautiful aesthetic here. There's so much light in the restaurant, and so you walk in, you feel comfortable. It's a place you want to be in. I never understood how important a good fresh tomato really was supposed to taste like. We're so used to, just going to the grocery store and picking up things that we think, these look fresh and good. And the purveyors that we work with, it's like going to a friend's garden and picking up all of those great things, and then we get to cook with them. But one of the most magical things I think about Communal is that we've always talked about when people come in, we want to make them feel like they're at home.
Well, we're sitting here at Communal with Tilly and Danny.
Yeah, these are our appetizers. I got the farro salad, and then we're gonna split the polenta. We'll give Liam a little bit.
And then I got the roasted beef salad. I really love that it's farm to table. Everything's really fresh. And the food is very unique and innovative, and very nourishing and healthy.
When we first met, I was all about Whoppers and Big Macs. But now she's kind of shown me this new world of really good, hearty, healthy food, and Communal's perfect for that.
It feels like it belongs in the heart of California, or San Francisco, or even New York. And we've lived all those places, and so it was really fun to move back to Utah from living in all those urban places and having this here. Danny and I came here the night before Thanksgiving, and we had the most amazing Thanksgiving dinner that I think I've ever had.
Communal Restaurant in Provo, Utah. Katy, it is Sunday dinner elevated.
Start with simple ingredients that are full of love, get them in the right hands of the right chefs that know what to do with them, and you got an incredible dinner plate.
Yeah, the power of a really good meal and the community behind it.
Visiting some of our favorite restaurants in Taste Utah, we have to feature Black Sheep Cafe in Provo because there's no other restaurant, I would argue, like it in the entire state. It's sort of Southwestern, but it's indigenous, inspired by indigenous ingredients, and just sort of an extraordinary, unique experience. So we're sitting with Colton. Colton Solberg, who's now a partner in Black Sheep Cafe. How's the pandemic affected business, and what's pivoting there?
Yeah, Black Sheep is interesting. They have such a diehard following, and so obviously in the beginning, when just people didn't know what was going on or what to do, those first few weeks and a couple of months were pretty challenging. But we've seen it come back really strong and really be hitting pretty close to matching what we've been doing year over year.
We feature Black Sheep season 1 of Taste Utah as well, and the food and the quality and the caliber is impeccable. It was so good. Hog Gel Nachos, the Navajo taco.
Tacos,
The burger with the, talk a little bit about the food.
So, so much of that speaks to the team we have there, right? So we have the team, many of the people on the team at Black Sheep have been there probably 5, maybe going on 6 or 7 years now. They're so solid and dedicated and committed to what they're doing.
Now, what are the hours down at Black Sheep?
Yeah, so we are open for lunch from 11:30 to 2:30, and then we close down to in between lunch and dinner, and then we reopen from 5, and we're open till 9.
And are you doing takeout there as well?
Yeah, so we are doing takeout, which it's super easy to do. You can order it online through our website or calling in as well to get takeout. But yeah, we are doing takeout.
We know you guys are keeping us safe. You're wearing masks, you're sanitizing, you're upping the sanitation game.
We are definitely taking all the precautions that, everybody's, I think, become accustomed to now in terms of that. keeping people safe.
I mean, absolutely. Well, we are just so grateful for you. We're so pleased with the Heirloom Group that Colton Solberg is an intricate part of our food family and community in the state of Utah. Anything that we can do to help and support, just let us know. And you guys are in for a real treat seeing the OG Black Sheep crew, but with the same great flavors.
Absolutely. Thanks, Katy.
Well, just around the corner from Center Street and University Avenue in Provo, Utah, we found ourselves at the Black Sheep Cafe.
It is a respite to the downtown dining scene in Provo and a welcome treat for visitors and locals alike.
Yeah, cafe by day and fabulous fine dining by night. What do you say we get tasting?
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's taste.
Well, Dan, thank you for taking some time to sit with me. This is Dan, the general manager of the Black Sheep Cafe.
Yes, no, you're welcome. It's a great day.
Okay, first of all, can we talk a little bit about the decor?
So Black Sheep originally had this idea of becoming someplace that we can show people art that goes well with the food they're kind of eating. So right here you see a beautiful chandelier. This chandelier is all hand blown and it is beautifully made, right local from Thanksgiving Point. All these paintings as well as this art just goes to that feel we want to generate here at the Black Sheep Cafe.
Okay, what are we drinking?
This is the Cactus Pear Lemonade.
It is so inviting. I love it.
It's like the best lemonade you can ever have in your life. We have cactus pears in which we make a puree out of them, then combine it with some lemon and make a simple syrup, and that's what gives it that delicious sweet taste. So the owner of Black Sheep Cafe, her name is April Adams, and she is amazing. She is of some Navajo descent, and she came with this idea with her brother, Mark Daniel Mason, who was a head chef. And they got together and they decided that they wanted to start a restaurant. And that's how Black Sheep was born. They wanted to fuse Southwestern culture with Native American culture. So the menu ranges from a lot of things. We have a lot of things written on the menu as well as our specials. What I love about Black Sheep Cafe is that there's always going to be some new specials for you. It ranges from your salads, and what you think is typical, but the salads contain a cactus pear vinaigrette, which just makes it so delicious. We have our burgers, which are made with, instead of just a typical bun, it's made with a nanascati bread. But essentially, it's a long version of your flatbread, and you use that to wrap your burger around it, and it just gives it that taste that every burger needs. During lunch, we try to keep it a casual feel. At dinner, we do try to raise it upscale. Most of the food does come with sides. We offer a beautiful ribeye steak at dinner, which is beautiful, made with a reduction of a Cabernet Sauvignon wine sauce.
Oh no, you didn't.
And it is phenomenal. I love that about Black Sheep, that everything is from scratch. So what you eat at dinner wasn't prepared out of a can or opened a bag. We threw it in there real quick. At 8 o'clock in the morning, people came in to prepare your food so that way it would be ready by your dinner time.
I always feel so privileged and honored to be back in a kitchen with a true incredible chef like Chef Mark. He is the chef de cuisine and chef at Black Sheep.
The Black Sheep, we're doing a Southwestern restaurant. My vision was Southwestern America. Arizona, New Mexico. I'm from Arizona, Arizona native. My family's from Arizona. We're actually half Navajo. So at Black Sheep, we try to infuse a little bit of native ingredients, a little bit of native food into a more known Southwestern cuisine.
So what are you preparing for us today?
Well, I'm gonna do our Hog Gel Taco. We are gonna start off with a base of a blue corn tortilla. Corn in general is very sacred to Native Americans, especially blue corn. In this particular one, I'm drawing from Southern food too.
Cool.
I'm gonna use hog gel bacon. It's marbled with meat and it's got a lot of fat, and this is smoked like bacon. We source it as local as we can. We braise it in aromatics, onions, garlic. We do little nutmeg and allspice berries.
Nice. And how long do you let that marinate for?
That's gonna braise for 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is an intensive labor of love that we're working on.
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely. So this one went on the flat top, rendered a little bit more of that fat out of it, but keeping enough to where it's very, very delicious. I figured it's just the richness of bacon. And maple syrup and maple trees are one of the things indigenous to America. So we try to use maple throughout. So I do pure maple syrup and a bay leaf reduction barbecue sauce. So it's on the sweet side, but it's maple syrup. That's why it's a little sweet. So then we go with just little drips and drops of chipotle puree. Jicama is a Mexican ingredient. Sometimes they call it like a Mexican turnip. We're pickling it in chili flakes, dill, apple cider vinegar, some purple cabbage to tie those beautiful colors together. So we're gonna go
Right over the top.
Right over
Beautiful
the top.
slaw.
cotija.
And cotija is...
It's a hard Mexican cheese.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with some beautiful thinly sliced radish. I like to layer flavors, whether it's heat that's been pickling a while, you get it back, but then you need a little bump of fresh heat. And we're gonna go with our micro cilantro.
Is this a favorite at the Black Sheep?
There sure is.
So we're here with some of the most festive super fans, maybe, of Black Sheep.
And what did you order today?
There was a chimichanga chili relano with a mixture of all these different flavors. There was, onions, there was chives, there was...
Was it special?
It was the special that they had today.
The blue burger.
Blue burger.
Tell us about that. Yeah.
Just the way your eyes like fluttered when you said it.
You can taste the difference with the burger. I feel like a burger's a burger for me, but with this, I said it while we were eating that like this burger, I can taste the difference.
We even had the nachos as an appetizer, and they were amazing. This is our Cactus Pear Swirl cheesecake on a ginger crumb crust, and next door, Porter Rockwell's made us our Cactus Pear ice cream.
But people coming from out of town or out of country even stay at our hotel, and we always tell them to come here.
What did you order?
So these are sweet potato fries. So this is the blue burger.
Okay. Okay.
And it's delicious.
I got the Southwest chicken sandwich without the onions. I just put the onions on the side, I guess, but it's really good.
I really like the margaritas too. And actually the reason I ordered the blue burger was because it's the same sauce. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon reduction, which is amazing.
It really is where Native American meets a little bit of Southwest.
They have fine-tuned the art of traditional and contemporary. It was delicious.
I mean, if you haven't been to downtown Provo in a while, the food scene here is taken off, and it is in part to places like Black Sheep Cafe, so you've got to come down and try it.